that we want their congregation to say, hey, I don't feel comfortable at a church. Well, go come to the water park. Let's learn the gospel through the water park, and then we'll invite you to church, you know.
This is the Prayer Culture Podcast. All right, well, we're here at the Prayer Culture Podcast. We're at TYPHOON, Texas, the premier water park in Houston, and in several other cities. We're sitting here with the president, Evan. And so, Evan, tell us a little bit about TYPHOON, Texas. How many locations you guys got?
We have 4 locations. 2 TYPHOON, Texas. Our other locations that are in the desert in Vegas, actually are called Cowabunga Canyon, Cowabunga Bay. And so it's kind of weird to have a Texas operation in Vegas.
Right.
So we had to be a little creative there with the Cowabungas. But yeah, this park's been here, kind of a greenfield. It was just a field. And our ownership had this vision of creating family entertainment in Houston, and not just any family entertainment. We wanted to be premier. And so here we are 10 years later, still thriving. And you are bringing the sunshine. It's been raining. And today, Michael, I think this is our first day we've had where it's been hot.
That's the Lord right there, man.
Yeah.
That's the Lord. Man. Okay, so Evan, tell us a little bit. Okay, you're the president, okay? So El Presidente.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get there?
You know, it's unique. In most of my career, I've been doing this 28 years. I started when I was 16, and I was kind of joking with you a little minute ago. In most of my positions I've had, I've been thrust into leadership. I've never really applied for it. It's the people around me have said, "Hey, Evan, I want you in this role, and you got to kind of live up to it." And here I am today as the president, and I'm still trying to learn what that means. and I'm kind of kidding, but in reality, I view myself in my position as here to serve, and every day, my position is not to dictate, it's to be a part, and that's very hard to do at times. But my origin story started when I was 16, and it was not a destination, it was a journey. And they came to my school and said, "Hey, we're looking for people to hire." And I said, I don't want to be a lifeguard, I don't want to be on a cash register. What am I going to do? And the way my personality is, I like to see the results of the work I do. So I started cleaning bathrooms.
Come on.
I did. I cleaned bathrooms.
Wow.
I cleaned bathrooms I pretty much did what anybody doesn't want to do, is the job I took. And I took a lot of pride in that. And I call it starting in the belly of the beast. And even today, you'll see me when I get stressed out or want to go kind of retreat a little bit and just kind of think, you always see me cleaning. I'm either taking out trash, cleaning trash can lids, getting with those people. It's just something for me that kind of cleanses my thinking palette and jump into it. So that's kind of where I started.
Come on.
And, from there, fortunately or unfortunately, my leadership wasn't very good. I didn't have good leadership. And at an early age, they saw some value or character in me. And I had some mentors that took me under at a young age and just started saying, "Hey, Evan, we're going to work on you." And they started putting me in adult situations. Really, and I started just, failing and learning and failing and learning. And kind of, I like to say I failed forward, but that's how I kind of created where I'm at today, and just started journeying through the water park world. And here I am today, and never had an idea that I was going to be in this industry. I always say the industry is not what I'm in. I'm in the hospitality people industry. It just happens to be in water parks. And I think that perspective is kind of launched me to certain careers and certain aspirations, and still loving it today. I still have a passion for it. And as long as I have a passion for people and what I do, I think the water park industry has kind of been a perfect fit for me.
Come on. And so, in terms of, were you here when this one was built?
I was. I was a day 2 employee.
Wow.
A day 1 employee is one of the owner's daughters. And they, that's a whole story in itself, but they found me in Austin. We had 7 parks at the time through a different company, and we were launching a new operation in Austin, and these guys, through one of my mentors I had, said, "Hey, there's this guy named Evan in Austin, go meet with them." And they called me one day and said, "Hey, you want to move to Houston?" And I said, "There's no way I'm moving to Houston." and here we are.
Something an Austener would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. and I'm not moving to Houston. And then I met these guys, and man, we just had a connection. And again, when things happen and you start things just lining up, you start ringing, "Hey, I should probably listen to that a little bit." And it was just kind of pounding on my chest. and God was working on me, and here I am in Houston for the last 11 years. So
Wow.
we built this from it didn't have a personality at the time. It was just fiberglass and concrete, and they hired me and said, "Hey, how are we going to do this? You're in the fourth largest market in the United States, and there was no really water parks at the time. There was someone in the north, but for 3.5 million people or whatever it is in Houston, there wasn't enough. There was a gap in family entertainment.
Yeah.
So they hired me and said, "Hey, Evan, go." And it's a lot of pressure, but we
Maybe just a little bit.
yeah, we found out
hosting 3 million people.
I gotta tell you this funny story. So you gotta look for inspiration. Our inspiration was really simple. It was Buc-ee's clean Chick-fil-A service. And once we hit that, man, the rest would kind of fell into place. But that was kind of our mantra.
That's good.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's clean and Chick-fil-A service, which, to be honest, has been my experience just being somebody who has come to enjoy the water park. Man, we talked about it a little bit, but the staff here, they seem to like to be here, and they seem to care about you as somebody coming in. And even to the detail, I had a friend come and said they got turned away 2 times at the gate because they had the wrong things in their bag.
Yeah.
And the person was very nice, but it was just like they actually care about their job, and they're like, hey, it's like a lot of times if there's not a good team culture, they don't care about the job. Yeah, bring whatever, do whatever, who cares, it doesn't matter. And they don't care about you. But the great thing was they actually, and the person that came was actually grateful that they cared about him, and cared about the cleanness of the park and like everybody having a good time. Yeah. So all that to say, I think you guys have done a really good job of meeting that standard you're trying to do there.
Well, I appreciate that. There's power in consistency. And when you start like whittling that down, we hire the age that we hire. It's 15, 16. They're young adults. A lot of times this is their first job. And we have an opportunity to really pour into them and shape them and manage their first job. And there's a lot of pride in that. And when you take that ownership on your shoulders and hold people accountable, people want to be held accountable. I know sometimes accountability feels uncomfortable, but when you hold people accountable, they end up having some successes and those simple successes by turning somebody away. We cheer that. And then so they look for that praise, and at the same time as well as we'll correct it as well. And over time you have the consistency, and the people start managing themselves. We just get out of the way because the team will start saying, "Hey, we want to be a part of a winning team." And you are coming into our operation or our team, you're not being a part of the winning team. So they start managing themselves, and it's this awesome snowball that starts happening, and it's fun to see.
Come on. I love that. So in terms of at Park, I know you also do things like faith and family nights. It seems like faith is part of kind of the DNA of the culture here. Tell us kind of what part like prayer has been a part of like your journey here at building this water park and being part of it.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, let's back up for a minute and just kind of talk about what a water park is. A lot of people think of water park, and the first thing they say is, "That must be a lot of fun," and it is. At the core of it, it's fun. But when you sit back and you really think about the operations, you're running a small city. I mean, from safety, if we mess up, from the chemicals to the people that are maybe non-swimmers, or all the different things that are happening, from food illnesses to whatever it is. When you think about anything around a water park, there's so much risk, and there's so much you can control as an operation. And so you have to, at some level, put yourself into the shoes of faith and say, "Look, God, protect us today," because I know I can't do this on my own. Surround me with the people that care. Surround me with the people that have the wisdom beyond me to enable that family that's coming in, that has the discernment to make sure they're paying attention to the water and not being distracted by anybody that's walking by. That's tough. And the only way to do that, and a lot of people say, Evan, you're lucky. That's not luck. That's prayer. That's hope. That's faith. That's all the things that I know as a believer, and that a lot of our team members know. And if they don't know, they ask, "So how do you guys," kind of what you were saying a minute ago, "how do you guys do it?" And the reality is it's not me. It's the collection of our group in faith. What's doing it. And that takes prayer. It takes putting your hands up and saying, "God, today I don't have it. I don't have the wisdom. Give me wisdom." And all of a sudden they start surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. And you You got to be in a position to see it though. If you're not, you're just going through the motions, you'll never see it. And so one of my daily rituals is just to be present. Be present, be cognizant of that. Hey, you are in a situation that is highly volatile. Every day, every minute is a different situation. It's intense. The people that are bringing their ailments in, from our employees to our guests to, people are hurting. And when you employ the amount of people we employ about 3,000 across all of our brands,
3,000.
and they have issues. and a- and they need mentorship just like
That's
I.
a lot of people to
Yeah.
help, man, and mentor and be president of.
You gotta give back, and you gotta remember this where you were. And so with that all being said, I think prayer is the core of it, and you've got to realize this is nothing in this building and these walls happen because of something I created. It's not. And once you realize that, you start looking around and seeing the awesomeness that's happening.
Wow. Yeah. Man, it's I can only imagine you getting up every day. Okay, I'm taking care of 3,000 people
Yeah.
who are my employees, and then all the people come to the water park, which is a lot more.
Yeah.
And wow, man,
We see over 1 million guests in about 100 days.
wow.
And you can only imagine that some people save up all their vacation money and they come to our park. I mean, some people come to the park and it's the first time they've maybe even met their family member that they've been just haven't seen in a long time, been separated from, and this is a hub for all those connections. And we don't, the stories that I could tell you, it's just awesome to see and witness and be able to provide an environment for that to happen.
Do you have like, I mean, so it's first, it's really a gift to have somebody who's clear about their faith and really cares about people, to have some success in business and be in, a secular business environment. But blessing the community in the ways that like a water park like this gets to. Um, can you tell me like some ways that you feel like the water park gets to really bless the community?
Yeah. First and foremost, with the blessing the communicate, that looks like definitely has different visions and looks. One look I want to talk about is the servanthood, just serving in general. I mean, we employ a lot of people in the community.
Yeah.
That's one big one. We also give back to people that can't afford it. We give so many tickets out to the community in all those different ways. The way I'm going to word this word is just servanthood, servant leadership, and a lot of times it's caught, not taught. And what we do in our organization is we just want to live what it looks like, what it looks like to serve, what it looks like to be a good human, what it looks like to
Yeah.
give back, what it looks like. How do you turn a no into a yes? How do you do all these things? So that's why I say we're not in the water park business. We're in the servant business, and we serve our community. It is not about just dollars and cents. Dollars and cents come, but that is a resource to give back. That's a resource to have the ability to witness to other people. It has nothing to do with just us getting houses and things like that. It's not that. Trust me, it's not that with TYPHOON, Texas.
Right.
So what does it look like? It looks like servanthood. It looks like acting the part. It's not a flat tire in the parking lot. It's how can we help you fix your tire? And oh, by the way, act a certain way so they ask you, man, how do you have good people? Oh, you really want to know? I'll tell you how we have good people. It's through the Lord. It's not through us.
Come on.
And that opens a conversation. And a lot of people just go, I want to be a part. Well, how do you be a part? Well, it's not about TYPHOON, Texas. It's about something much bigger. And it just opens the dialogue.
Come on.
And that's how we serve. We also serve through, we talked about mentorship, and a lot of these preteens and even the adults that we have here, they need mentorship. I need mentorship.
Come on.
And with the new friend with you, I mean, you look, just kind of our discussion before this is how you started your organization. I learned, and people need that in their lives, and we just want to be present for that.
Come on. Well, and I also was impressed with, I think TYPHOON works with a number of nonprofits to try to kind of help provide promos where people can get more affordable tickets, and the nonprofit gets blessed too. So I think that's amazing. That's great. I love that.
I used to, I'm from Sacramento, and in Sacramento they had this commercial that was always on, and it was a jeweler, and it
Whoa,
said,
whoa, whoa!
I
Wait,
know.
Evan, California. You're a
from
California transplant?
I am a transplant.
Okay, okay. I love California transplants. I'm not ashamed to say it. All the other
Yeah.
Texans can boo me, but I think it's great. So yeah.
Yeah, people always say you got here as quick as you could, and it's true. But man, that journey from California to here, it is just it. That's a whole nother podcast, but it is a lot of learning in there, and you learn that you're a product of your environment at sometimes, and so you got to surround yourself with good people. And Texas is that.
There you go. There you go.
But going back to the nonprofits and the community serving, yes, I always look at this as an opportunity to bless, people best through laughter and fun and connections, and people that don't even want to go on the slides, just sitting here and just catching up. Where I would say we're the third living room, your living room at church, your living room at home, and then now you have this destination where you can just meet people that you never met before. It's awesome.
Come on, come on. What inspired Faith and Family Nights?
So Faith and Family Night has been on our docket for a long time, and we're just growing it now. We've tried it before, and it's gotten some speed. And during COVID, it just kind of, we kind of lost focus a little bit. And it's one of those things that we need to bring back. We need to bring back with a vengeance. And I hate to say that we just kind of lost sight of it. And this year we're saying, we're going to do something awesome again. And Faith and Family Night is to show people in the community, hey, let's give them a place to not only listen to the gospel, but talk to our employees. But this is going to sound like a unique opportunity, but there's about 125 people here right now. That's employees.
Right.
They get to see it, and sometimes they've never been in a church. So
Come
Faith
on.
and Family Night is also a way for them to get involved, and it just sparks conversation. So it's not going away. We're only going to build it.
Come on, come
Yeah.
on. I love that. I remember I was a CFO in a company and with some multiple subsidiary companies, but there I started a prayer hangout, and we do like prayer meetings every once in a while. But of course, in the company, we had more than just followers of Jesus. We had people of, different beliefs and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
And so there was no coercion or anything, but it's like, hey, if you want to come, we're gonna do some prayer. And there was a lot of, hey, what's that? I like to check it out. Let's talk. So introducing things like that to give your team the opportunity, not force them to do anything, but give them the opportunity to hear that is, I think, awesome. So
Yeah, that organic approach sometimes sticks more so than when we force it down their throat. Like, hey, you got to do this. You got to go to prayer night on Wednesday night. But all of a sudden, you start seeing all these believers in a location. I want what they have,
yeah.
and then they get involved, and not only do they become involved, they start helping, and then it just kind of just organically grows. And Faith and Family Night we're hoping it does that in our community through not only our leadership here, but through the churches in our community. We want to get them involved. So there's an ask there. Is come on, churches.
Yeah.
get involved, be a part of it. There's some people that we want their congregation to say, hey, I don't feel comfortable at a church. Well, come to the water park. Let's learn the gospel through the water park, and then we'll invite you to church.
Wow.
So maybe there's an avenue that way as well. So
Come on, I love that.
Yeah.
Now you've mentioned the gospel. So what would you say the gospel is? If somebody's like, what's the gospel? What would you say?
it's the good news. There is good news out there. That's what essentially what it means. And people get, I think people get intimidated by the word, right? It is a big word, and when you kind of break it down, for me, it's great news. And here's the good news. And with good news is always bad. And some of the bad news, get it out of the way first, is you and I are separated through sin, through God. We cannot be in the presence, and you and I can't fix it.
Yeah.
That's the unique thing, is you and I can't fix it. So God sent His Son Jesus to die on the cross for us. He lived a life. He died and then was born again, and it's a gift. And a lot of people, all you have to do is accept the gift. We can't earn our way into it. It's a gift that we have to receive, and that's what the gospel means to me. And if you can just go around and say good news to people, who doesn't want to hear good news?
Yeah, right.
And so for me, that's at the core of what it is. And so how do you make? I think there's an art to making complicated things simple. And a lot of people can come into a situation and complicate things really quickly.
Yeah.
But at the core of it is what I just said.
Yeah.
And it's just good news.
That's right. Love it. Love it. Okay, so here's the question people really want to know the answer to. All right, all right. The barbecue.
Yes.
Okay. I've been to other water parks and I've had water park food, and this is not water park food. Tell us what inspires this like cuisine of like real food at the water park.
You know, you never want to serve something you won't eat. And just kind of growing up in the water park world and visiting theme parks and attractions, what our ownership and our team, we literally sat in an office and a table just like you would in a typical high rise meeting. We had a meeting about food, and this
Right.
this meeting got intense.
Yeah.
It did. It got intense, and people are intense about food because food is not only just something you eat; it's an experience in itself. And out of that meeting came one thing: we're not going to serve anything we don't want to eat ourselves. And that was very passionate. It was a passionate thing, and so we made a mantra: we're never going to have. It's always fresh, never frozen. That was kind of our mantra
on.
coming out of it. And so we're in Texas barbecue, and what you'll see in a lot of these operations in the amusement world is you have operations that have a low labor and lower cost of goods. And so you can bring in frozen foods cheaper than obviously sometimes organic food that you have to process yourselves, and
Yeah.
it takes labor and expertise in doing that. And we said, you know what, it's okay. We're gonna do that, and today I'm proud to say that passion has continued through. So when people eat it, just like you're kind of saying, they're surprised, and that surprise is it's hard to build. And so we look at that first bite as an opportunity to say, okay, these guys are different, and now you have to build that consistency around it. So the one word I have for you is passion. So we wanted to have passion around food, and we wanted to make sure that it's something that we could be proud to eat ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh man, I love that. And I have to say to my audience, come to TYPHOON, Texas. We'll throw the promo code and everything for 2 or more down there.
Yeah.
We'll have the website. Come to TYPHOON, Texas. If you're in any of the cities, Houston, Austin, Vegas, any of those places, what is it in Vegas again? It's something different?
Yeah, it's called Cowabunga Vegas. So we have two. They're off the strip.
Okay.
They're about 20 minutes from the strip at Cowabunga Vegas. If you're ever in that area, you will not be disappointed. It's awesome.
Cowabunga, Vegas. Okay, awesome. And remember to come and try the barbecue, okay?
Try the food, please.
Try the food. It's real food. It is not normal amusement park food. Okay, so Evan, if there was somebody you're mentoring and you're like, man, I just say they like really want to lead something that's larger than life, like a water park. What are like some ingredients to success?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. The first and foremost, I'm going to start with kind of the clay. You have to be moldable clay. And I've always told myself in any situation I'm in, even with it when a guest is unhappy, is Evan, be present and listen, because you might learn something. And I'm going to call that attitude. You got to have the right attitude. You got to go with the right attitude. And I know enough that I know nothing. And my mentorship is when I do hear what the other person is saying is then you can start really applying to molding the clay, right? And so we have these core values in our company, and we sat around a room and we started kind of throwing up the buzzwords, and we said, you know what, let's throw those out. What are we really about?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what those are, and they're called values. And for our number one value is be kind. Be kind. Kindness doesn't always come in a bottle of just telling you what you want to hear. Kindness is hard.
Yeah.
It's kindness that is kind of what we're talking about at the front gate. Kindness might look like in redirection, and maybe it might be kindness is, hey, we're not the company for you. That is kind, because now you can go to another location and be mentored by you find your passion.
Yeah, it's different than niceness.
Yes.
It's kindness and niceness.
100%. Thank you.
Kindness is a fruit of the spirit. Niceness is not.
Thank you. and the second one is can-do mentality. Is anything we jump into, we have a can-do mentality about it. Another one is hardworking. I'm going to get to the one I really want to talk about. And then the last one we have, we have 2 more. One is self-awareness, is being self-aware, being humble. That's kind of the core of it. And the last one I really want to park on is being unoffendable. And being unoffendable is hard. There's a lot of spirit in that, and coming to the table saying, you know what, I can take feedback, I can take hard conversations, I can be told hard things, and I'm not going to be offended by it. And we're so offended these days on anything possible out there. And what we really try to do as a leadership group is come to every situation with not being offended by anything, and that has really positioned our attitude and our values in a proper way, where I don't have to lead. The values lead. I support the values, and all of a sudden, this I'm going to call it a flywheel. This flywheel approach happens, and I'm just a person that goes around and puts people in right situations, and the flywheel takes over through our value system.
Awesome. I love that. Here's some delegation there too, like learning how to delegate and not
Yes,
do
it's
everything
hard.
yourself.
I can't say I've mastered it, but yeah, you got to let people fail. And with our business, we have 100 days to make or break ourselves. And so
Mhm.
sometimes we got to say, hey, Michael, you got to move out of the way, buddy. I got to get in here. And some people get offended by that. And
Yeah.
and our approach is, hey, Michael, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to teach you. And that is a whole, like a whole building blocks in itself. And when you have that right spirit, you not only are a better person, the operation, you can feel it. And it's not just something that you can teach. It's the hand of God. I'm telling you, it is the hand. And when you see it and feel it on the operation, it's really, really awesome.
Come on. I love that. Um, Man, I had another great question, but I forgot what it was. Oh, do you still clean toilets?
I do. I'm far and few between these days, but I, besides cleaning the toilets at my house, it's funny you say that, because I have 3 kids, and I have not taught them how to clean a proper toilet, and I feel terrible about it. I really do. And because what I generally do is do what? It's my space to just put on the gloves and get the chemicals and go do it myself. I
Yeah.
can see what I did from a dirty to clean. I just like that journey. And so I do need to pause. I need to do it more at work, but certainly at home, less at work.
Oh man. Yeah. Evan, don't worry. That's a dad thing. We all need my sanctuary is working on the car or doing the lawn, which I finally surrendered the lawn to my son, but
Yeah, I need to bring him in the fold a little bit. They do know how to sweep.
okay,
You'll be
good.
surprised how many people come to the doors that don't know how to hold a broom.
Oh, really?
It's impressive.
Oh,
But hey, those simple things, man.
the
Think
little
about it.
things.
Evan taught somebody how to sweep. That's something that they're going to remember for
Yeah.
their whole adolescence to adulthood. And I got the opportunity to do it, so that's kind of
Come
cool.
on. That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. There was an article I saw a while back, and there was some kind of issue with like an LGBTQ event here or something,
Yeah.
and I had asked Sarah about it. She gave me a perfectly reasonable explanation or whatever. But I know sometimes when those things come out, you got to like share about those things or speak to those things.
We
Is there
did.
anything you're like, this is what happened, and we, generally we just this is how we handle such situations?
Yeah,
Or?
no, let's talk about it. At the end of the day, we're a venue. We are a water park, but we are a venue, and we host a
Right.
lot of people. And we're open to all different walks of life. Not only because of regardless of what your value system is, we have a value system.
Sure.
And so we don't want to just sit in a lazy boy and open and we're only going to serve the people who see the way we see life.
Sure. Right.
We want to have people come through our gates and say, what is different about them? Oh, by the way, it's this, and it's the gospel. It's how we serve and treat people.
Right.
So not everybody even here today is a believer. So
Sure.
that's the core of it. Where that event went wild, I should say. Where that event went I'll take the wild. Let me start
Off
that
the
one.
rails.
Where that event went just a little sideways is we have some standards that we need to keep as an organization, and without any beliefs, without any direction as an organization, you have no core and no value. You kind of believe in nothing. You
Right.
don't stand for something. You don't believe in anything. You don't stand for anything, kind of thing. And so for us, we had to call it at some level. We had to draw the line, and where we draw the line is really simple. It's when the values go a little bit with kids in our organization, kids being invited to an environment that we believe is not appropriate. We have to pull the plug somewhere. and that's kind of where that line was is it's not about the adults. The adults can make their own, but we have a lot of kids that are in our operation that we have to pretty much watch out for, and
Sure.
our ownership group decided that, hey, this is something that we don't want to be a part of, and not because of anything that the group or anything that was doing wrong. It's just the potential of it, and we just decided that we're just not the venue for that.
Sure, right. Which seems to meet a set of standards and protocols you guys have. Yeah. So, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, I love it, Evan. I think this is great. Is there anything else you want to share about the park? Just what kind of invite would you give people to the park?
The invite that I would give people is really simple. The water parks are a dime a dozen, right? They're but it's once in a while when you find an organization that's owned by individuals who want to create something bigger than themselves. And when you're here, you feel it. I encourage not only that maybe your kids be their first job or have this be your summer entertainment. I will say you're going to do one thing. You're going to leave better than when you came. Either that's in spirit and laughter and smiling, whatever it is, you will leave better than when you came in. And that's a guarantee. I just employ everybody to come in and experience that themselves.
Awesome. Love it. Man, Evan, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
I was discipled up in a wonderful church that was very Bible-centric, which just means, they love the Bible, love studying the Bible. And there was a great emphasis on evangelism, but we didn't have much emphasis on corporate prayer. And so I just didn't really understand how to approach God.
A lot of people are in the same boat that I'm in, where we value prayer. We know it's important. We value gifts of the Spirit, but we just don't know how.
I can recall when we had just 2 minutes of silence at our church just to stop everything and focus on God, and how unsettling that was just to be still for 2 minutes.
Prayer is like this suitcase that's filled with a lot of things. These things can be daunting, hard to measure, hard to control. It can feel less like a suitcase and more like Pandora's box for a lot of churches, like what if we really press in here, what's going to happen? What kind of church are we going to become?
I mean, God's throne of grace is not just this simple thing that we just go into like a store. I mean, we are talking about a holy, majestic, wonderful God, but He welcomes His children with open arms.
One day in Africa, I was praying, and I felt like the Lord was encouraging me that I would be part of a prayer movement among Bible-centric churches like the one I came out of. The Lord brought that word back to me with Matthew 18:20, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am among them. 2 or more can actually come alongside and help give people a framework for prayer that's biblical, a framework for relationship with God that is biblical, and just help people go, hey, let's actually make space for the Spirit of God to do things He did in the Bible.
When you're praying with 2 or more, there's an agreement there with God's Word and with God Himself, and there's power in that.
First of all, He tells us we need to pray. It's all in Him, and that is a double blessing, a double glory to God. Unless God truly does move, nothing will happen. Jesus says, apart from me, you can do nothing. That is very true,
Whether a church is already a praying church or struggling to become a praying church, and I don't mean there's a prayer meeting every so often, but there's a culture of prayer, of dependence on the Lord, of expectancy. 2 or more is just so helpful, so practical. Just through the leadership of the Scriptures, really, bringing what the Scriptures say all together with faith and with obedience to just kind of break through a bit and get us into a different place where we really know we're sitting at the feet of Jesus and He's listening closely and He's speaking.
It is a good tool for encouraging the practice of prayer among the members of your church, giving them an outlet, giving them a tool to reach out and connect with other believers on a regular basis to pray together.
A group of men that pray together come from multiple different churches. When you really begin to pray, full heartfelt prayers, I think there's just a fellowship of the Holy Spirit that happens in that place that really brings a unity.
The blessing it is to us, and to do those spiritual disciplines that help us to get more and more conformed to His image, because we're spending more and more time with Him.
So we have a number of ways to get involved. If it's like, hey, you're in a Bible-centered church, you hear this and you're like, oh, we need that. We need more prayer in our church. I want to try this. Get connected with me and we'd love to start a prayer meeting at your church.
Is there anything more valuable that your congregation could be doing than praying? You know, if we've got time for Sunday school, and if we have time for youth group, and if we have time for all the other ancillary activities that take place in a local congregation, we ought to have time, a dedicated time for prayer.
The God who created everything listens to us. Jesus died for us so that we could be cleansed and made righteous, and we could approach the throne of grace with confidence to find mercy in our time of need. He wants to partner with us. And do we want to partner with Him is the question.